What's going on, you guys? Kenny here, also known as SilentFan85. If you're watching my video, thanks for watching. Welcome to another vlog. I wanted to tell you guys something that you probably didn't know about me. For a while in my life, I wanted to be an actor. I wanted to be an actor. It's not something that really comes up a whole lot. I mean, honestly, I've always felt that I kind of had the personality, I kind of had the presence, even a little bit, of liking of being on camera. I mean, seriously, who doesn't like, spreading their ego just a little bit? Ego is what humanity is about, in ways. And acting while storytelling, which is something I enjoy as well, always appealed to me. Although, maybe in another life, or in an alternate timeline, I might have become an actor. But it all started back in high school. I was actually in drama for a while. I tried out for a couple of plays, and unfortunately I never got the parts, because for those that don't know, and for some that do know, I had trouble back in high school. I'm actually a high school dropout. I ended up getting my GED. But unfortunately, the drama teacher, while I was fine in class, I was too unreliable with attendance. Because again, I had a lot of problems. I didn't feel challenged enough. I didn't feel like I was going to get anywhere. But that was back then. I mean, that was 15, 16 years ago, 17 years ago. Holy crap. Anyway, also the heater just kicked on, so you might be hearing that. But unfortunately, I was seen as unreliable. And he actually told me afterwards. I did a tryout for Annie Get Your Gun. And I forget what part it was, but I really played it out. Like, it was a part where the character got really, really angry. And I started stomping on the stage and just getting, like, honestly kind of hulking out a little bit. I wish I could remember. Maybe it wasn't Annie Get Your Gun. Maybe it was something else. Anyway. So anyway, after the play, or after the tryouts, the next day in class, the drama teacher, she told me, she said, "Kenny, I just wanted you to know, I would have loved for you to have had that part, but I need somebody that I knew was going to be able to show up for rehearsals. And unfortunately, due to your academic record, it's hard for me to rely on that." Now, honestly, again, I was young. I took offense to that, because I was just like, I wanted it so bad. And, for the rest of the day, I was pretty bummed out. And so, thinking back on that, I think in some part, that's why I really never tried out for anything else in my life. Is because it kind of put a damper on me, and I don't think it was on purpose because of the teacher, but it kind of put a damper on, well, if I'm not reliable, then why even try? But of course, with age comes wisdom and comes reflection, and I kind of realized, she was right. I was a screwed up kid. It hasn't been until later in this life that I've discovered, what's going on up here, what's going on in here, what I really want. So, but with that said, late 20s comes around. I tried out for Beauty and the Geek. For those that don't know Beauty and the Geek, Ashton Kutcher actually produced it. It was on for 2 or 3 seasons on Warner Brothers, on the WB, which is now the CW. It's always been a favorite network of mine. Lots of DC shows have popped up on there throughout the years. And it's always been a favorite. I was always also a big fan of WB Kids back in the day. I'm not even sure if WB Kids is around anymore. I really haven't checked. But anyway, side note. But I tried out for Beauty and the Geek. I got called back twice for that. They essentially, what they do with the tryouts is they put a camera in front of you. They kind of interview you a little bit and give a personality. They asked me a question about like fashion, like a certain purse. I forget the name of it, but I was like, "Isn't that like an extinct animal or something?" I was trying to be funny, and honestly, I wasn't really being myself. I was honestly trying to play a character. I think that's kind of where I went wrong with it, but in a lot of ways, those reality TV shows, a lot of people just play characters anyway, so I kind of figured it might work, but overall, it didn't really work out, unfortunately. But with that said, in another instance, I actually have been on TV a couple of times. First noted appearance on TV was in a news interview. I was at DFW Airport with my family, and I forget what year this was, but the airport was closed down because of snow. I was there with my sister and my father, and I believe my little brother, and we got interviewed on TV. They asked me like what as a kid I thought about all the airplanes being shut down, and I don't remember entirely what I said, but I remember seeing myself on TV, and I thought that was really cool. This was late teens, I think, give or take. So, again, going back to my 20s, I worked for a local storage company where I actually appeared on a commercial. And I'll actually try to edit that in here, and I'll show you here real quick. So that was me. I was in a striped shirt, and I was actually helping a customer. Now, I didn't have any lines, but it was kind of cool. Now, I'm nowhere near that area anymore, so don't go trying to hunt me down. But I'm going to try to edit out any information that might come about on that. But it was pretty cool. I mean, that was me. They asked me if I wanted to be in the commercial. I was like, yeah, I can represent the company. So it was really cool, and that's a couple of times I've been on TV, and then I've tried out to be an actor. And in other parts I've even tried writing. Yeah, I say that, but let me just be honest. It's mainly just fan fiction. I've done some work of my own on writing in a character into the DC universe, because obviously I'm a nerd, so I'm going to try at least. It was about a character, and he was doing a study on Arkham, and I never finished it. I have it on backup, but I never finished it. I might get around to it someday, but he locks himself willingly in Arkham overnight. He works it out with Sharpie, or the head of Arkham, Quentin Sharp. That he signs a waiver. He says he's doing it for a course study. He locks himself in a cell. He's willingly playing a criminal kind of thing. And he ends up getting involved in a breakout, and the Joker's in the cell right next to him, and they have an exchange and everything. It was kind of cool, I thought. But it was, it's crazy the aspirations you have in life. And honestly, I think me wanting, or at least trying to be an actor at different points in my life, or kind of working out that way, that I was on TV and such, probably worked into me being a YouTuber as well, and vlogging and sharing my opinions and my interests with the world, and leaving behind some sort of legacy, even in digital format, of who I am and what I've always wanted to do and be. So look, again, I don't know what the future holds for me, but what I do know is that my life hasn't been all darkness. It's felt like that a lot, but at the same time, I felt like I've had something to share with the world. What'll come about of that? Look, I have no idea. The only thing I can say for sure is that I've enjoyed 90% of it. There's 10% has been a lot of dark spots, but for me being me, and to be misunderstood sometimes comes with the territory. That's part of being human. But damned if it isn't fun to be human, and damned if it isn't tragic to be human. It's all a part of our story, really, and how we take that story and how we deal with it is really what matters. When it comes down to it, it's all our choice. And it's just best to remember that you're awesome, and to never let the world tell you otherwise. See ya.